long story short, Mikhail Alexandrovich, would you lend an old friend a helping hand?
But I think not the idiots. I don't.
Well, now see here, my dear fellow, just for a moment put yourself in my place. I'm really just a look around, as I'm only dabbling in this to help a bosom friend. Oh dear, my soft old heart will be the ruin of me.
You don't look anywhere near ruined to me at the moment.
All joking aside, my dear fellow, Natalia Petrovna gave me permission to give the old boy her answer. And now that I have, she has gone into her sulks as if I had done the wrong thing entirely. And he hangs around my coattails like a dear old sheepdog.
Ignacy, idiot, isn't it a pity that you stuck your thumb in this particular pie at all? Old Potion's a fool now, isn't he?
Oh, of course he's an old fool. If we only allowed the clever ones to get married, the race would die off. Stuck my thumb in the pie indeed. A dear friend had begged me to put a word in for me. My thumb was stuck in for me. Voila! Could I refuse with my soft heart?
But now no one's blaming you, but I think we're all entitled to know just why you're taking so much trouble.
Because the old boy's a very old friend of mine.
Is he really?
Towards so-and-so. What would you answer? His eyes are dying to tell us something. Oh, my poor sweet.
I don't know what's the matter with me.
Oh, it's... And he? What of him?
I don't know.
Yeah, what of him?
I don't know. I tell you, sometimes I imagine
Imagine what?
that I see him look in his eyes. As if he thought of me as a special person, perhaps. I don't know. Natalia Petrovna, what's the matter?
What did you say? Nothing.
But there is something the matter. I'll ring.
No, don't ring, please, please. It's passed off already. You go back to your music, and we'll talk another time.
You're not angry with me, Natalia Petrovna.
Not in the least. I just want to be by myself.
Natalia Petrovna.
Please. Those children love each other. God bless them both. I don't know myself anymore. What am I doing? Should I tell you, Natalia Petrovna? Trying to marry that poor orphan girl off to a fond, foolish old man. And you've gone so far as to use that wily old doctor as a go-between. And there's your philosopher and your husband. What is happening to me? What is happening? Unhappy woman. You're in love. It's madness. And it happened so suddenly. She loves him. They love each other. Michelle, please tell me what to do.
I will, on one condition, that you put complete faith in my disinterested wish to help.
I will. Save me, Michelle. I'm on the edge of a precipice.
He must go away. Go away. I won't drag in your husband or your duty, because such sentiments would not come well from me. But if these two young people love each other, imagine yourself standing between them.
He must go.
For your own happiness, he and I must both go away at once.
You? You go away too?
It's the only way out.
And then what? What shall I have to live for?
Your husband and child, what should you have to live for indeed? Listen, I'll wait for a day or two after he's gone just to make sure.
I see.
You see what?
That you are counting on force of habit. But you call our old friendship to bring me close to you again, am I right?
Now you're insulting me. And after the promise you just made, well, I want nothing on earth more than to have your name shine on Irish before the world.
My name? But this is something new. Why, you never mentioned it before. Oh, Michelle. Was ever any woman so miserable? Save me, Michelle. Without you, I'm lost.
Mind you, Mamma, it's always been my firm opinion that...
By my soul. What's the matter with Natalia Petrovna?
It's nothing, I tell you. Really, it's nothing.
Oh, my dear Mihail Alexandrovich, it couldn't be nothing. I'll go and ask her myself.
No, I beg you.
But I should like to be enlightened. What's behind it all?
There's nothing behind it, Arkadia. I swear to you. Now, I promise. On my word of honor, I'll explain the whole thing tomorrow morning.
I'm right out of my element here. Natalia's never behaved like this before. It's quite fantastic.
I could see the tears she was crying, and to go dashing off as though we were a pair of perfect strangers.
Now listen, dear people, both of you. Natalia Petrovna and I were in the throes of the discussion. And I must beg of you, just for a moment, to leave us completely alone.
Alone? But is there some secret between you?
In a way there is, but you shall know.
Very well, Mamma. We'll leave them to wind up this mysterious duologue in Kammer.
Oh, but what on earth?
Come along, Mamma. Please don't let it be one of your obstinate days.
Beg of you to rest assured.
I require no assurance, thank you.
But I insist.
Mamma!
Natalia Petrovna,
What did they say?
I said that I would explain the whole thing tomorrow morning. That gives us today, at least. I'll think of something. You can see now that we can't go on this way. What will you say to this?
Send him to me, there's a dear. I'll give him his congé and it'll all be over and done with, like a bad dream.
Very well.
You're a generous man, Peter. Have I ever really loved you?
Monsieur Belliard, one moment.
One final effort and I shall be free. Freedom and peace. Oh, I've longed for you both.
Natalia Petrovna, you sent for me?
Yes, I should like an explanation.
An explanation?
I'm afraid I'm dissatisfied with you.
Dissatisfied with it? If I give any impression of neglecting my duties, I assure you.
No. I've been more than happy with the way you've been handling the phone.
Well, then, excuse me, what are you talking about?
Please don't take too much to heart. You're very young, and never having lived in a strange house before, you could hardly have foreseen. Alexei Nikolaevich, it's just this. Vierushka has made a clean breast to me of the whole thing.
You're Alexandrovna?
Yes.
But made a clean breast of what?
Do you mean to say you cannot guess?
No.
Oh. What if you really don't know? Please forgive me, but say no more about it. Do you know, I'm not sure I believe you, although I understand completely why you should pretend.
I'm sorry, Natalia Petrovna, but I have not the faintest idea to what you're referring.
Oh, come, you mean to say you haven't noticed?
Noticed what?
That she's head over heels in love with you. She told me herself.
But
Well,
I've always behaved toward Vera
I
Alexandrovna.
put the question to you as to a man of honor. What are your intentions?
Intentions?
Yes.
Natalia Petrovna, this is a bolt from the blue.
Dear, I'm not doing this at all well. You think I'm angry with you, don't you? I'm not. I'm just concerned. Justifiably, I think. Shall we sit down? Now, Vera's in love with you. I know that's not your fault. I'm quite ready to believe that you had nothing to do with it. see, Alexei Nikolaevich, I'm completely responsible for her future. Now at her age, such upheavals do not last long. So now that I've told you, I know I can count on you to change your attitude towards her.
But Natalia Petrovna, in what way?
By avoiding her. I must remind you that Vera was under the impression that you were not entirely indifferent to her.
As you have been frank with me, Natalia Petrovna, may I be frank with you?
By all means.
I have a great affection for Vera Alexandrovna, but not anything more at all. And if, as you say, she's under the impression that I'm not entirely indifferent to her, I must tell her the truth, but having told her it would create too painful a situation, and it will be impossible for me to stay on here.
Will it?
Yes. I need not tell you how hard it will be for me to leave your house.
Will it?
I shall always think of you with the deepest gratitude. And if you'll excuse me for now, I shall ask for the honor of taking my formal leave of you later on.
Just as you wish. But I must confess,
Yes?
I didn't quite expect this. My only intention was to remind you that Vera is still a child. I feel that now that I have exaggerated somewhat. Is it absolutely necessary for you to go?
I'm sorry, but I don't see how I can stay.
I'm not in the habit of pressing people against their will, but I must confess to being a little displeased by this turn of events.
Displeased? Natalia Petrovna, I'll stay.
You changed your mind rather quickly. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps you ought to go after all.
Thank you, I'm at your service.
One thing though, you said you were going to explain something to Vera. I question the wisdom of that very much.
I bow to your wishes.
And as for your leaving, I'll let you know tonight. He does not love her. Although I can't be proud of an interview that starts off by dismissing him and ends by begging him to stay.
Oh, it looks like another downpour. The clouds had picked the most awkward moment to gather. Just as we were getting to, shall I say, a soulful stage.
Soulful? Oh, naughty Ilich.
But now they're all over in the schoolroom. We can sit here and take up our sentimental cudgels where we left off.
Cudgels, the things you think of.
Snuff.
Well, just this once.
By the way, did you say that the old bat was in one of her tantrums today?
The master's mother? Oh, I should think she is. You know what happened this afternoon, don't you? Oh, no, I mustn't. It's gossip.
Oh, yeah, or I will lock you up in a cupboard.
Oh, you are a terror. Well, she walked in here this afternoon, and she found Natalia Petrovna was with her professor, and they found out that her head was on his shoulder, and she was crying.
Crying? You don't say. But take it from me, Rakitin's not one to be labeled as a dangerous customer.
How very, very interesting. Why do you think?
Oh, much too good a conversationalist. You see, ordinary men lose their heads and behave like beasts. But with those clever ones, the whole thing washes away down a wastepipe of talk. It's the quiet ones with the eyes like live coals and the broad back of the neck the world over that spells red for danger. But shall we leave the riffraff lesson and glance at our own affairs? What would you say to a down-to-earth chat in keeping with the length of our teeth?
Oh dear.
To start with, we like each other. And in other ways, we're surely well suited. I must, in all fairness, not describe myself as being exactly of high descent.
Ah, but a natural gentleman.
But then again, you're not blue blood yourself. I'm not rolling in money. If I was, I guess I'd obviously be flying higher. I do have a respectable enough practice. Not all my patients die. And I must say, I hope that after 15 years that the first careless rapture of being a governess is wearing off. And that you're also just about sick of waiting hand over fist on a female dragon. That is, when you're not cheating at cards to make her think she's won, eh?
Oh dear.
Then there's me. I can't say I'm tired of being a bachelor. On the contrary, the whole thing seems to suit me to a T. But I'm not getting any younger. My cook is robbing me. So everything seems to fit in nicely. There is one thing, Elizabeth. You don't know me. I know you, of course, backwards.
Oh, doctor, really?
Yes, backwards. And I can't say that you are entirely free from fault.
Such as?
Well, for one thing, being a spinster for so long has turned you just a little bit sour.
Oh,
But that would right itself in a jiffy. In the moral hands of a good husband and wife is clay. But before the tinkling of the wedding bells, I'm more than anxious for you to know me. So you can't turn on me afterwards. I won't have any wool pulled over your eyes. For example, it wouldn't surprise me at all if you took me for a cheerful man.
cheerful? Oh, but of course. I've always known you were one to set the table in a roar.
Exactly. Just because I play the fool and I tell the local gentry funny stories, you label me like a shot as a sanguine character. Shall I tell you something? If they weren't being damn useful to me, the gentry, I would look at him twice.
Do you include Natalia Petrovna?
Oh, she's like all the others. And just because they drench themselves in eau de cologne and drawl every syllable as if accidentally dropping it for you to pick it up, they think you can't trip them by the heels? They're no different from the rest of us poor sinners. And what's more, they're not saints themselves.
Ignati Ilyich, you take my breath away.
I knew I would. Anyway, I must have proved to you that I'm not a sanguine character. Mind you, don't think that any of them has ever dared to snub me. They're even afraid of me. They know I can bite. What I'm getting at, Lizaveta Bogdanovna, is that although I have an unconscionable amount of self-esteem, my life really hasn't come up to scratch. Nobody would call me well-read, and I'm really not a very good doctor. There's no use pretending that I am. And if you ever fall ill, take a tip from someone who knows it. Don't call me in. And now for my personal character.
Personal? Yes.
In my own home, I'm extremely morose, abnormally silent, and highly exacting. Have I made myself clear?
Yes. Oh, yes.
But in all fairness, I must add that so long as my habits are observed, and good hot food is served consistently before me, I keep my temper. What do you say?
Ignati Ilyich, what can I say? Unless you've been deliberately slandering
How
yourself.
about you, dear woman? I haven't been slandering myself at all. Kindly keep in mind that any other man would have died rather than breathe a word till after the wedding, when it would be too late. Not me, I'm too proud for that.
Proud?
Yes, proud. To a stranger I would bow to the ground for a sack of flour, saying, what a fool. But to you, Lizaveta Bogdanovna, my future spouse, I say what I think. At least I don't say everything that I think. I must be frank, but near enough not to mislead you. That's me, kind of funny old stick.
Well, a little eccentric, perhaps.
Now I'll give you some time to chew the cud. What do you say?
Oh,
Well, you close yourself up somewhere and go carefully into the whole thing and let me know what you think. By the way, how old are you?
30.
No, you're not. You're 40.
I am not. I'm 36.
Well, 36 isn't 30. And that's another habit you'll have to give up. Anyway, a married woman of 36 isn't old at all. And you shouldn't take snuff either. I think it's clearing up.
Yes, it does seem to have blown over, doesn't it?
So, I may expect to hear from you in a day or two?
Tomorrow.
Good, I like that, Lizaveta Bogdanovna. You have common sense, nothing like it. There is one more thing.
Yes?
I haven't kissed your hand yet, and I believe in these circumstances it is expected.
Oh.
That's settled.
Mercy, what a spiteful man. The things he said. Now I missed just what I came down here to do. And so Lizaveta Bogdanovna is going to be Mrs. Medicine. smell. Must be the wild cherry. Oh dear. Oh, there he is! Alexei Nikolaevich!
Yes? Who wants me? Oh, Katya, it's you.
I want to tell you something.
Tell me something? All right. Echo? Do you know, Katya, you're looking damn pretty today.
Oh, go on.
You are. Peach,
Oh, no thank you, really, you haven't.
did I turn down the red raspberries you offered me yesterday? Come on, take it. I picked it for you.
Did you really? Thank you ever so much.
That's the style. Now, what was it you wanted to whisper in my ear?
Oh, it's just that Vera Alexandrovna, that young lady is very anxious to see you.
Oh, is she?
She's over by the plum tree, waiting for me to fetch her. You wouldn't be disturbed down here, she said, with them all still at the birthday tea.
Oh, I see.
She's very fond of you. I shan't be at home. Alexei Nikolaevich, is it true what they say?
What?
That you're leaving us?
Leaving? Well, who told you that?
So you're not going? Oh, gracious heaven be thanked! We'll do that presently.
Most fantastic things are happening to me. Vera's a sweet little thing with the kindest of hearts, I'm sure, but I just... And what could be the meaning of a note like this from Natalia Petrovna? Please make no decisions until I've seen you again. What could she want to see me about? Stupidest thoughts keep coming into my head. Whatever it is, it's all damnably embarrassing. What I still can't make head or tail of is that conversation I had with her.
Don't be frightened, miss. It'll be all right.
Vera Alexandrovna, you wish to see me? Won't you sit down? Oh, but you've been crying.
You've been dismissed, haven't you?
Who told you?
Natalia Petrovna herself. I had to talk to you. To ask your pardon.
Pardon? But what for?
If you only knew how this whole thing has upset me, Alexei Nikolaevich. To be the cause of this whole thing.
The cause of it? But Vera Alexandrovna, nothing's settled, I assure you. It's quite possible I shall stay.
No. No, everything's settled, Alexei Nikolaevich. Everything is over. When you think how you are with me now, and only yesterday in the garden, remember? Alexei Nikolaevich, is it true that you weren't exactly dismissed? That it was you who were anxious to go?
Why do you want to know?
Answer me.
Well, Yes. You were right. She told me everything.
That I was in love with you?
Yes.
It isn't true.
But if it isn't true, why
At
did
least
you...
I didn't tell her. I don't remember. Oh, how cruel. And is that why you wanted to leave?
Well, I asked you, Vera Alexandrovna. What else could I have done?
You don't love me.
Oh, Vera Alexandrovna, please give me your hand. I do love you, Verочка, because it's impossible not to.
You mean?
In the same way I love my sister. I'm sorry, Lord, I've never in my life been in a situation like this. I'd do anything rather than hurt you. But the best thing is to not pretend anything to you at all, don't you think so?
Yes.
Well, I know you've grown fond of me, but you see, Vyatrishka, I haven't a farthing to bless myself with. I don't know what to say to you.
But I haven't asked you to say anything. To suddenly bring up your prospects. Oh, it's so cruel.
I'm sorry, Vyatrishka.
No, it isn't your fault, Alexei Nikolaevich. I don't even blame her. She's just lost her head.
Lost her head?
Yes. I'm not the only one who's given herself away, you know. She's in love with you.
Do you know what you're saying?
Yes! You see, today's made me years older. And she took it into her head to be jealous of me. Me!
I don't believe it.
And why did she suddenly try and palm me off onto that old gentleman? If you could have seen her when I broke down and confessed, her face changed before my eyes. She's in love with you, all
I
right.
still think you made a mistake.
jealous. And now she's dismissed you because she met us.
But she hasn't even dismissed me, I've told you. Nothing at all is settled yet.
Nothing at all?
Nothing. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because it's all perfectly clear to me now. She's come to her senses and realized she has nothing to fear from a gawky schoolgirl. And anyway, perhaps you're in love with her.
You've
turned quite red.
Have I?
Are you in love with her? You don't answer me.
Well, what do you expect me to
Please,
say?
please stop talking to me as if I were 5 years old. I just can't bear it.
Sorry, Beatrice.
I'm sorry to say, Violetta, that you're becoming very headstrong. I reminded you more than once. And you too, sir, appear to have forgotten that you gave me your word. You have deceived me. Yeah, I'm just a little cross with
Don't
you.
you think it's time you dropped all this as well?
What do you mean?
I mean, this talking to me as if I was still a child.
Yeah?
From today on, I'm a woman like yourself. He hasn't deceived you. He doesn't love me, you know, so you'll throw it in the world to be jealous of me.
Yeah.
And will you please not throw any more dust in my eyes, because it just won't be any good. For the simple reason I am no longer your ward, watched over by a tolerant and mocking elder sister. I am your rival.
You forget yourself.
If I do, who is to blame? I dare talk to you like this because I have nothing to hope for anymore. You've seen to that. But I'm not going to pretend with you as you did with me. I've told him.
Told him what?
Something I noticed. You hoped to worm everything out of me without giving anything away about yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I entreat you. You don't know what you're
And
talking
will you
about.
tell me I'm dreaming? That you don't love him? After all, he's made it perfectly plain he doesn't love me.
Natalia Petrovna, is it any good my assuring you that
She was right. It's no use my pretending any longer. The only possible way I have to regain your respect, and my own, is to be perfectly frank. Besides, since we shall never see each other again, this is the last time I will ever speak to you. She was telling the truth. I love you.
you? Natalia Petrovna?
The very first day I loved you. Although it was only yesterday I was fully aware of it.
He's in the house.
I just saw him in the billiard room, sir.
Would you ask him if he'd be so good as to take a glass of wine with me in here?
Yes, sir.
Akasha,
Oh, Mama, I didn't see you. How are we this morning?
well, the Lord be thanked.
Good.
As well as can be expected. Matters might be worse. Oh,
Were you sighing, Mama?
Arcadius gave Isa. I am your mother.
Really, Mama? That's no news to me.
Your big man now grown to Adam's estate, but I'm the one who dandles you on my knee. It's a wonderful word, mother.
Do please explain what you're hinting at.
You know perfectly well. Arcadia, you have an excellent wife,
Do I? Good.
whose conduct, up until now, has been beyond reproach.
You mean that Rakitin and Natalia?
Oh, no, I don't mean that, God forbid. No.
Mama, do let me finish. You mean that her relationship with Rakitin is not quite as straightforward as it might be?
Yes, I do. Has he given you any idea what those tears and those talks were about?
I haven't asked him. And he seems in no hurry to satisfy my curiosity.
What do you do about it?
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh, well, you're the master. Who am I to try to give you advice at all? I'm only your mother. But what I meant was, I should be only too happy to clear the air and have a little chat with both of them.
Mama, you'll do nothing nothing of the sort. I mean, I can't have you very well. Now, do you promise me faithfully?
Well, you can't say I haven't cautioned you. I would,
Are you driving out anywhere today, Mama?
well, I must give you one word of warning. Friends, true friends grow scarcer every day. And my baby's too trusting. My baby judges everyone by himself.
Your baby is more than able to take care of his own life, Mama.
Oh. Well, an old woman like me. I'm probably out of my mind. Old women do go out of their mind. But, of course, I was brought up on rather different principles, but all that's old-fashioned now. You go on working. I shan't lift a finger. I'll be just like an oyster.
You have an open wound. What makes people really wish you well? You prod into it first one finger and then another. Good morning, Mikhail Alexandrovich. A glass of wine?
Thank you.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Patrick! All right.
How are you today, Mikhail Alexandrovich?
Surely that's a new coat you have on and a buttonhole.
Oh, if it's too much, I can always take it out.
But why? It's charming. In case you have to have any messages sent, I'm going into town tomorrow en route to Moscow.
Moscow? Tomorrow?
Yes. A matter of business has dropped me.
Will you be away long?
Possibly quite some time.
May I ask, does Natalia Petrovna know?
Why do you ask?
No particular reason.
I don't think there's anyone else in the room.
What? No, there isn't. Why do you mention that?
Well, I thought there must have been. Because of the farce we're acting. You mean to tell me you don't know why I'm going away?
No, I don't.
Well, I'll believe you. Just before you came in then, I had a rather important talk with Arkadyevna Sergeyevich, man to man. As a consequence of which, I've decided to take my departure. The reason being that he fancied me to be in love with his wife.
Indeed.
Well, what was I to do? Of course, his suspicions were totally unfounded, but that didn't stop him from being tormented by them, and I felt that for a friend's peace of mind, an honorable man ought to be prepared to sacrifice his own happiness. That's why I'm going away. Well, you would do the same, wouldn't you? If you were in my place, you'd do the same thing. You'd go away.
I suppose I would, yes.
I'm delighted to hear it. Of course, there is a funny side to my decamping. It implies that I consider myself a menace. But I feel that a woman's good name. Do you still consider love to be the greatest blessing on earth?
Well, not having fallen a victim yet, I'm not in a position to say, but I've always understood that to love a woman and be loved in return is the nearest a man can reach to perfect happiness.
May you be soothed by such pleasant lullabies. Shall I tell you what I think?
Do.
Just this. All love, once you surrender to it, all love, with a spurn to return, becomes a calamity. Mark my words, my boy, the day will come when you know just come for you to discover what a world of hate lies smoldering beneath the most ardent passion. And you long for peace, as a sick man pines for health. Just an ordinary, insipid, everyday peace. Think of me when you stand tied to a woman's pavements. Pavement strings and find yourself envying. And from the bottom of an agonized heart, every carefree stranger on the highway, while the shame of your slavery seeps into your vitals, the slavery of paying too high a price for such miserable returns. Think of me. I mean, think of what I've just said. I was fossilized. I observe that every day you discover new virtues in Monsieur Valier.
Do I? I'm so glad.
Well, I must prepare for my departure, so.
I don't mind telling you, Vera Alexandrovna, I'm counting the minutes till I'm up in that dog cart, bowling along the high road. Yes, I must go. Back.
You think that's what's upset her?
You going up now, my dear?
Goodbye, Natalia Petrovna.
Natasha, may one of his old friends remind you that here is one of the best of men?
Yes. He's the salt of the earth. We're both the salt of the earth.
Why has she fainted? What makes a person faint? What's the matter with her?
Nothing at all is the matter with her.
Quiet!
All of you! I've just seen Natalia Petrovna, and I repeat, there is nothing at all the matter with her. What's more to the point is, what's the matter with all of you?
Poor Katya, there's no need to bite off our heads.
Nothing,
But
nothing.
Papa!
Monsieur Schaff, would you please give Kolya his German lesson now?
No, I want the other tutor! I want
Michelle, I'll pardon the way.
Oh, anything to help your boy.
Stay away from Natasha, will you? And you too, Doctor. She's not at all well.